Alright, I guess time to get started. 7 o'clock, 7:01. Who wants to go first? Anybody up here? Anybody in the audience? Anybody? Like anything they wanna say, point they wanna make?
I want to make a point.
Point.
It got back to me that something I said last week was mistaken or took wrong, and that I was trying to compare an SRO officer to a security guard, and that's absolutely wrong. I was comparing exposure rates. The exposure rate of an SRO is greater than just about anybody in the county because they're amongst hundreds of kids every single day. That's what I was comparing, their exposure rate. As far as I'm concerned, the SRO officer is more danger than your regular patrol officer, because he's having to deal with hundreds of people a day, whereas your regular patrol officer may be 20, 25, I don't know how many they deal with a day. So don't think I was trying to put down SRO officers. They're very important, and they are not just a security guard in the mall. They're protecting our kids. I got that out of the way.
Okay. I usually hear everything now, you murdered that.
Indeed.
Every time I say gets misconstrued, so I'm glad it was you this time.
Where do we get to on the numbers, or my dollar amount? So
I left the other night, the meeting went so late before, when y'all were getting into talking the, teachers and stuff. But with those added in, I did crunch some numbers from what I could come up with. 196 certified and 145 non, I think is what you had brought to us.
196.
Certified and 145 non-certified. But with that and the tiers that we had discussed, puts the whole total at 880,000. Here's another one. Do y'all wanna put that one between y'all?
Is this straight across the board, or is it by month of
It's
service?
straight across the board, it's by the tiers that we had talked about, employee as of 10/31.
we done 4 categories.
2021, cause that was the last date I had.
Level 1, level 2, level 1 part-time, level 2 part-time.
Level 1 was
4,500. Level 1 full-time. Level 2, 3,500. Level 1 part-time was, how much, Reese?
Level 1 part-time was 2,000. We tried to do a cap on that, cause there was some, like, you had said something about 900 a day with a cap of 2,000, but that's not gonna work, cause that just puts them having to work 2 days and the full amount, that's, I was looking at that today, that's not a good,
Scenario.
yeah. There is a breakdown of people and hours on the next few pages to kind of see. I know some of you were interested in how it would fall if we did it by hours turned in. I didn't receive hours from everyone, but everyone I did is on there.
What's level 2 part-time? Yeah.
There's no school tomorrow.
There is no school?
No school tomorrow. COVID.
Not ice, COVID.
COVID.
15.
This time, you know, it's supposed to be, I know what, I don't know this. And the last time, 25 people. This time, I don't know. Of course, I think all my crews are new to it.
Cause everybody you know done had it.
Yeah.
Got those.
you've got how many hours they've turned in, you've got when they were hired.
Yeah, that's on those pages.
I wasn't able to make it to the last meeting. Is there a list of who's included in the tiers?
Level one is, sheriff's department, deputies, corrections, sanitation, the convenience center workers, health department workers. And then level twos, and then there was a level one part-time, I think they have a couple of part-time people out there, and then level two is basically everyone else, alphabetical.
Dispatch.
Dispatch is in level one.
Thank you. I think it, I believe dispatch was outlined in the training videos. It addressed dispatchers, as same as jailers, as far as exposure level.
No, actually, they were listed as
Right.
yeah.
That, you're going back to before the training come out, they were said as essential, or the reason was
Right.
because
They said.
That's what I-
anything was shut down.
Yeah.
You
They
can't
said-
do it without dispatch.
You can't shut
Right.
down dispatch.
They were essential to the, well-being of the community, so they qualified. But it wasn't the,
Yeah, they said one thing, then when the training come, the training said right opposite, which was kind of part of the course on several different things. And then the final rule changed some of that. Now included is, what did we do on deceased? We talked about that. Did you include that in one of the, we had a case, at least one case during
there's
this time?
I actually have a list from the road department, there's 22 we put in the road department, cause that was the initial number I had from them. They have some on the list they turned in that are not inactive, so I don't know what date they were
Roy's here.
inactive.
Roy's here now, he might tell us.
If they would
What's the question?
count, so their number might be less than 22, but those deceased retired are in 22.
The deceased retired are in the 22.
Yeah, something I'll go get the original. Some people on your list, if you know when they left, if it was before October 31st, or, are we going by that date or no? Or active as of now? I don't, cause I don't know.
What did we discuss last time?
We did.
Nope, we
I don't
didn't.
think we talked about a date, that's the last one.
The time before was whenever all the time came in. We all
That's what we said.
The
That was
31st.
March to October.
Correct.
Yeah.
Was our last discussion, that's a couple of weeks ago.
Correct. So I'm assuming that's what we're sticking with, we changed it.
That's what we, like, and that's what Patrick said, that's what we ran with. In that last meeting we had, it wasn't discussed to move it on up to whenever. That's what you see is October 31st.
Well, we didn't talk about whether they're still working or not.
Correct.
You want me to get an up-to-date list and put that, do you have a, this date? Stop.
That's what we're talking about now. Are we sticking with 1031?
Yeah.
What year?
1031 is when it's paid through, but not necessarily when if they're not here now,
What
we have to
year?
discuss that.
March of 20 to October 31st, 21.
No, but that's just the hours we turned in. I need to know if someone left November the 3rd, but they were here through October 31st, but they're not here now, they left in November, are they gonna get it? They left in they gonna get it?
Or is it just current
Or
active?
is this only gonna be for current active employees whenever we run these checks?
Oh, you may not, somebody left after October 31st,
Yes,
21.
or they,
Well,
yeah.
So I mean, you got people that are currently active now that were gone for just a short time. I mean, is that gonna be a factor? You've got dispatchers that are currently active that have retired,
I counted retirees,
we've
retirees
already-
counted.
you know. So she's good either way. And then you've got employees that are active now that have been gone for a short span.
Left and come back.
Yeah.
The time that we're.
You want me to update that list, I guess is what I'm.
That's why I think we need to do.
We need to know a date, I guess, to go by for,
Do it by the month or by the hour. Straight across the board is not fair.
Which is either pay period or month.
If we do something besides across the board, monthly would be far easier than breaking down the hours.
That's why I was asking about the pay period. We don't have everybody, but most everybody we already have out.
Well, I'll tell you what my opinion is. I'm older, and I know the employees are tired of waiting on it. I say, I'm sticking with my original. Do across the board, level 1, level 2. I think there's still some questions about who's level 1, level 2. I'd like to get that straightened out tonight. Besides that, I say do across the board and let's get it over with Thursday night. I mean, these people sit through hours and hours and hours of meetings. That's my opinion. That's what I'll be pushing for.
So if you got one that worked 6 months of it,
And they're still here now, would that be, would they fall under part-time?
Nope.
no.
Full time.
No. No.
I mean, like, if
See,
you look
that's
at
the
the
problem.
breakdown I gave you, under your deputies, you got one deputy that worked at the top, 4,750, and then you got another one coming in, just 151.
Barely over 6 months.
You know, you're grouping them right now in the same, they're getting the same amount.
Exactly.
Well,
Most of these.
how hard would it be to break down the months, Rick? Could we
It's
do
easy,
it
I
before
just done
Thursday?
deputies.
Well, for everybody, every department in the county.
I just done them deputies. It ain't gonna take me 5 minutes to do the rest of it. There's all of them but 2 that have, or 3 that have 19 months. So they get the full amount.
All but 3.
Yep.
Alright. Did you see the one that left and come back?
Not on here, is it?
I'd probably change the hire days, cause like I recognize this one name, he did leave and come back, I don't know how long he was gone for, but he's got plenty of hours during that time, so I'd say he just gets the bulk of it.
He still has over 2,000 hours.
Yeah,
This
so
one,
I don't think that's
He wasn't gone
an issue,
long.
yeah, no.
2,080 hours is 4 work years. We're talking about how many months?
Be 18 months.
18
19 months.
This Jonathan Cole, so
He just
Quit?
left as of January 3rd.
you know, it's
So
more money
not
for everybody else.
now, but he was here through the end
Okay.
of October, so I find y'all are doing it. So we're going off current active
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, if we
Unless
pass it
you're
Thursday
retired
night and
at six.
they quit tomorrow, if we pass it Thursday night, they don't get nothing.
Oh, no, we didn't want to hear that. Is everybody kind of in agreement with that? Is that what y'all are going on?
What if your employment was cut short because of COVID?
Do what?
So what if your employment was cut short because of COVID?
How?
Like not being able to perform the capacity to work?
Did the doctor give them a note saying they couldn't do it anymore?
Yes, sir.
Bring in the note. We can look at that just like we do retirees. If the doctor says you can't do this no more, that's just kinda like a retiree to me, but it affected them. Yep.
20.
So you're saying if somebody worked 18 out of the 19 months but does not work right now, they're left out?
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
I don't think it's
Why'd they
I
leave?
don't think that's right,
Why'd they leave?
I've argued that 3 times already.
cause they were there during the COVID.
That's exactly, and this money is going to pay people who work here in the
For
COVID.
working for the county during COVID.
I mean, that's what the actual money.
Then
We work
probably
for it, so
double the
we
number of
pay.
these people.
What now?
Probably double the number of the people here. All
Okay,
the
but-
employees
but-
that-
But like she said, somebody was working, say, 2 months during that time period, or a minimum number of hours. And just because they're current now, somebody that worked 2 months of COVID is getting the money, yet somebody that worked 14 or 15 or
Why'd they
16 or
leave?
18 months aren't.
Why'd they leave?
Well, the people work 2
Doesn't really
months, it's
matter.
gonna be
Yes, it
prorated.
matters to me,
36.84.
Why?
because they're not loyal.
Well, that,
So you're
That's
punishing
not
somebody,
true.
that has nothing to do with the COVID money.
That right
That has
there.
nothing to do with COVID money.
but you do realize, well, I can see everybody's argument each way.
And
It-
some
it
people,
would
the
cut their
only
money in
thing
half.
is too, some people are gonna get something from another employee.
Not if they
That
weren't
you
there
have.
during the, not if they weren't there. during that
Education and health does too.
Well, I don't know.
If they weren't there, they.
Education and
They
health
were,
gets something
they
too.
were
I mean,
to
cause
us.
if you broke it down monthly at that point, maybe that would be, address it more accurately.
$50 a month.
36.84.
Between that time frame, between that March and that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I done 19.
It's 20.
So it's
Cause you
20.
figure,
45 by 22,
Sorry.
25.
I got 2 feet.
It's too low.
And I used to have-
It is, it is.
Oh.
That's $225 per month.
So we're looking at 20 months, 225 a month, is that what we're saying?
Yep, at level 1, and then level 2 would be, 3,500 divided by 20.
170.
19.
We do what?
19, it's only 19 months.
If you do March of 20 to February,
The full-
March of 20 to February of 21 is 12 months. Alright, and then, you start again, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October is 8. I'm glad you teach computers and not math. That's what this like. But anyway, it's 20. Incorrect.
Yeah, 45 to a typical point.
Is that across the board, or is that here with somebody?
That's level 1, level 2 is 3,500.
It'd be 175.
175.
And then part-time should be $75.
On which one, level?
Part-time.
Per month.
Correct, per month.
Part-time level 2.
Part-time level 2 would be 75.
What's part-time on level 1?
100.
And then the one encompass
There needs to be a set time that they've had to work before you're eligible for pay. I mean, there needs to be a set time you.
What formula we use on Chris?
3 months, 480 hours is what, 3 months? The standard work.
What we use on Chris's bonus for guidelines, Chris?
20 times 3.
We just always say.
That's 360.
We do 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months, 1 day, I think.
170, actually 174, if we rounded up hours a month, is 2,080 months a year, which is, 4 on, 4 off schedule.
Well, I was looking at the, on 2,080 hours on the,
Yeah.
40 hours a week on the month, 48 160.
Well, I know with the correction schedule, it's 4 on, 4 off, it's not
Right.
a set schedule, so if you actually just average out monthly, it'd be 174 hours.
Yeah. I was just looking at the bottom threshold of
Yeah.
having to work so long, at least a base before you start getting, like Patricia was saying.
So what's difficult about just giving people, that's just breaking it down into this 225, that's what it comes up to per month.
That they work during that 20-month period,
Right.
or 19.
If they work, or how many months if they work during that period,
March 1st,
why can't we just give them that amount of money? It's a, I mean, that's the only fair way I see to do it.
But when you count, when you count,
Every one
that's the full month of October, that's what it's in.
Well,
Yeah.
I see everybody's
October
point,
31st, March
and since
1st,
it's
March 1st,
COVID,
October
federal
31st.
Counting the whole month of
you
October.
gotta
is
look
20.
at it a little bit more different than you do just
After
counting.
4 years, you finally hit that, right? After 4 years. 4 years.
So, you know,
That would be pretty easy to figure, wouldn't it? Well, I won't speak, she's the one that has to do everything, so, but you're, but as far as a month,
It's just plugging in, cause I had left everyone off this list that was gone, cause I thought that's how we
yeah,
were working.
the hours,
I have 'em.
total hours would be a nightmare. And I think months will get it close enough. I mean, it's gonna vary by a couple hours if we do months, but
If you do the part-time, if you took, how many days a week are they working?
I have to work at least 4. No,
Sounds
4 or
like
less.
3. Some of
Well, I don't
them.
care if they're one, I don't care if they're one day a
We have one
week.
guy that's just like a sub.
He just, yeah,
You can
and
call him
he
a
just,
sub.
he just kind of, so like if somebody's out of Benton, he'll go work Benton that day. We may not call him to work for 3 weeks, we may not call him 3 months, then we may have to have
You
him.
know how many
go
days he
months.
worked?
Huh?
You know how many days he worked?
We got 204 hours, you could divide that by.
That'd be 5 weeks, roughly.
so that just, yeah,
Just pay him for a month.
it'd be a month
Yeah.
worth.
Oh, okay,
So you wanna break that down, so if he worked,
If they work 3 days a week, give them 2/3 of
break
it.
their hours work down to a monthly rate.
Yeah.
I just don't, I mean, I don't know, the answer is, but I mean, I don't.
That sounds.
no, what we looked at,
That
what we
makes
looked at
sense.
was, you know, with that little of an hours, if he did qualify, you know, he would be getting,
The same as.
The same as
somebody
Well,
someone
no, and that's, yeah, I mean, to me, that's just not fair.
Right.
Correct.
That's just, I mean, I don't care if it's me, you, or I don't care who you are. If you need to be paid for what you have worked and been exposed, not sitting behind a glass wall and not even being called into work or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're paying cumulative hours that equal to months, and that's what we're saying.
Yeah, it comes up to 225 a month.
No, I'm asking, that's what we're talking about.
It's basically just
The
hours.
hours billed to the month and we're paying by the month, is that? Okay,
That's my understanding.
and anything short of the month threshold just drops?
Good question. I thought about that when I got into doing this.
Well,
Sure,
that-
that'd
that'd be-
work 29 hours, or 39 hours.
Well,
you
somebody
do
worked like
some.
15 days of the month and left. They count it for
Well, if
the
it's
month.
15, it'd be part-time, if it's 30, it'd be 1 month, 15 half a month. I mean, if you work less than 15 days,
No, don't count them.
I wouldn't count.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, I'm not trying to.
Or break it down this 225 figure into an hourly figure if you want.
That's what we're
that.
trying to avoid.
Right.
We're trying
Yeah, you follow me so far.
Or by the day.
Bills to the
50
month,
bucks,
yeah.
and you pay
50
for the
bucks a
month,
day, you said two
anything short of the month, it doesn't get paid, like if it's a month and a half, it's a month, right? Is that what we're saying? That's the
motion.
motion,
225
This
or
is the
250?
months of
225.
March through
225.
October.
per month.
and that's the motion,
Okay.
as long as I keep it straight.
Level one's
Now, if it hits
part-time, level two.
6 weeks, that's not 2 months, that's a month.
Why are we,
So every time you hit a month, you get paid for the month. Anything short of the following month, you don't get paid for it. You get a solid month from the pay.
You work 16 days a month, you do the month. Right? That's what they're saying. Up or around, up or down.
You hit
Up or
that
down.
threshold to go
You
over.
work at least that.
Yeah.
Is that how you were saying?
No, anything short of the
He said
month, I'm
anything
saying,
short
you
of
don't
the
build the
month.
month
Oh,
like it's.
anything short of the month.
Anything short of the month.
So their starting month and ending month, if they were broken, they would have to total of 30
Now,
days.
if you wanna go
Can everybody hear pretty good?
15 plus days
what we're-
on the next month, we can do it, as part of the motion.
We'll have lots of questions at the
In
end.
other words, if you got a full month, and 15 days in the next month,
I'm not gonna have a
Y'all
question
want to-
session, I'm sorry.
So
It's
y'all-
getting late already.
So like John's saying, so John's motion is
you have to
you
build.
gotta build the month, and then if you don't get to the next month, if you work 17, 18 days, that's flat back.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Are you sure? Cause this is,
Say again.
So if you, so
So
if
John
you.
said.
Oh, go ahead, John, say it.
when you build the month, when you build to your month, you get the month. Anything over that month, if it's short of the next month, it wipes out. You don't get it. You have to build each month fully to get paid for the month. Or we can do it
What do
in
you mean
halves.
build to the month?
I mean, 40 hours.
Well, how do we know? We're not going by hours.
No.
Are you
You're
talking about
going by
part-time or
days worked.
full-time?
Days, what you
We're
mean.
talking about days.
You talking about full-time or part-time?
Full-time, this would apply to people who have left, like in the middle of the month or the.
You putting the people that left now back in?
That's why we're breaking it down though, Dewey. They're only gonna get paid
You're
for
gonna
what time
have
they
to
were
revise
here.
your list here to
Yeah.
double it.
I know, yeah.
It's also gonna cut down on some of your payouts, so instead
Yeah.
of going flat across the board, your number might come down.
We're not going flat across the board.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, the total figure that you had might go down because you're not going
It
flat
will go
across the
down.
board.
Tremendously.
Yes.
But are you, like I said, are you gonna count the people that worked 18 out of 19 months of COVID, but are not current?
That's my question. I never say what the turnover was at the sheriff's office, especially in the back.
I dropped them there's no way to track it that way.
Well, what started creating this new problem?
I thought it was for part-time.
Gally's like, nobody called me.
I didn't. What we spoke about was how we're gonna pay, period. And as far as past employees, y'all know how I feel about that. I think y'all get it.
I think they ought to get it for what time they were here, that's why.
That's what I'm saying, not
Exactly.
anything other.
That's why, and because I'm saying that is because it's not county money. If it was county money, I'd have a different feeling about this.
Actually, it is county money, cause all the 3.2 can go into county money.
I know it can, but it was actually federal money
Back to the main issue.
for the COVID end of things.
And I agree, the people that work for it should get paid their COVID money.
Wait, I didn't do that.
But I don't think there's a way we can track it, count, and have enough money to hit the goals that we talked about.
Those people will have their jobs.
I get that, but, you know, but that still don't really take away the fact that they're working their jobs. I mean, I get
There
that.
is still COVID. It's worse now. So don't tell me when they were working.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know, I mean, it's, I have mixed feelings about it, I mean, I'll be honest with you, but, you know, to me, when you break it down like this, if they had stayed, they'd be getting X amount. Okay, they left, so they're getting less amount, but they're getting paid for what time they were here.
No, they could possibly work the whole time in question and still be gone.
Yeah.
So, they would get the same as
Whatever
somebody's
time, ever
current
how it
year.
worked out. I mean, ever how many days or months that they worked. If they work the whole 19 months, but now they're gone, then they work the 19 months.
And I might look at it different, and I'm not saying I don't want past employees to get nothing, but I've said this in previous meetings, especially since it's our money now to do what we please with it. I look at it as more, yes, partly bonus money.
Right.
Two, I look at it as way to people we still got working
I know.
for nothing, to say we
Yeah.
appreciate you for sticking it out and take this as a thank you.
I
that
know,
we
I
can get
don't
y'all
like
raised.
to take away from the people that's still here. I
And
don't.
it's
I
we-
see it both ways.
Oh, I could argue both ways
Yeah.
all day long,
Right.
but at the end of the day, we gotta make it.
But
fit.
yet, who's here's here, and they've been here, and you know, so, you know, of course, I ain't on the committee, but I'm just, I see it both ways, but, I sure ain't got no objection to that way.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I know, I mean, that's what I said, I can look at it both ways. I can make a good argument both ways.
Right.
I think everybody here tonight is supposed to make a good argument both ways. But
Let's
at the end of the
find out.
day, we gotta do one thing.
About
or
every
another.
place that I ever worked, and my husband worked on Railroad 30, when you wasn't there, you got nothing. You didn't get your turkey. If you left the day before, you didn't get your turkey. You know, everywhere I worked, if I wasn't working, when something come out, I didn't get it. No bonus, I ain't get nothing.
Right.
You know, I mean, so I see it, you know, and I hate the takeaways from our people that's still with us.
I got an idea, let's finalize that argument and get it over with, which
Yeah.
will, Brooks, if you call it hands up for both ways, and we'll move on with whatever answer comes out of it. Who wants the ones that were here that have left to get the money, that they, for the time they worked? Raise your hand on the committee, please.
I'd like to say something before we vote.
Go ahead.
What about, let's look into some of the other money, another line, and take nothing out of the current employees' money we got set aside, and look at what they, look at number of employees that's left, that's worked during that time, and see what they think about substantially less bonus. And see what the effects would be on the money, and not touch none of the money we've had set aside for them.
I'd agree with that except one thing. When's commission meeting?
I brought it up.
No. When's commission meeting?
Thursday.
You have it on the agenda for Thursday? Yeah. Catrice, how much sleep do you plan on getting between now and Thursday? None?
I mean, I'll do what I can with myself.
Well,
It's supposed to
I
rain
mean,
tomorrow.
we've got a pretty good breakdown of active employees right here. That won't be hard. And then.
What he's talking about is the non-active.
Right, but most of those are gonna be sheriff's department, and Callie did a real good job when she turned in their hours, and I have all them, I did too.
Is Kelly here?
Yeah,
How many would you say, just guess, nothing binding is left during that time frame, corrections and deputies?
I don't know, we had a big turnover
Yeah, I
in
know.
both departments.
Yeah. Roy Jean Road Department's pretty good size.
Y'all wanna share your money, give it to them,
there's five.
to the ones that
deputies.
left?
No, that's not what I said, Dave.
I know, but that's what we're
Oh, I
going.
know the answer to that, and I don't blame you. No. And I
Whatever you say.
But that's what, that's
So
our
the ones
first
that really
thing, that's
did
what it would
dig it out
be.
for the majority of COVID are gonna get screwed in this deal, is what you're telling me. Am I right?
That
well,
what?
that way, but,
If
and
you work,
way,
if you work it, you ought to get paid for it.
Yeah. Cause you don't know what reasons people leave for. I know somebody actually had COVID and had to leave for that reason.
Observe overtime. I had to guard.
Like I said,
I had to guard
reading the doctor's note saying they need to leave, I have no problem with it.
Ward at the hospital before I got infected.
Brooks, I'll just be honest with you, I can't think of I don't like it at all, I'll make that into a motion, what you said, because we need to move on and get this done. So we wanna, the motion is to, look at the other monies that we have for the ones that have left, who worked during COVID, but the money that we have sitting here and we're talking about tonight, we go on with. That's the motion. You wanna second that, Dewey, so we can go?
No,
Okay.
I'll second.
you can't.
Yeah, hand
On the
the
committee.
chair over to Dewey, to second
On the
that
committee, you
motion.
No.
Yeah, actually, he can.
On the committee, you can't, not on regular
Don't want to
committee.
share because.
I was kinda holding that back.
Whatever it is.
Look in a second.
I do.
I'll send you the link. It's in Robert's Rules, second edition, newly revised.
We're going by the rules now?
We have-
That's gonna be different.
When it's convenient.
Hey, you stop us with them when it's convenient, so we might as well use them when it's convenient.
Do we also want to throw in that, like Judy just said, and maybe that gentleman over there was saying?
No, that's in the current money. That's in the current money.
If
we're
they
talking
had,
about.
okay,
Now,
so
this
we
is
do not
people-
wanna throw in the part if they left with
This
COVID,
is
like a
people that's
retirement,
gone, and we're
and
looking
had
at the
to.
other line money to do something with them.
Okay.
And then we will.
Okay, I'm just making it clear so everybody knows.
Yes,
Cause
no,
I didn't,
your
when I'm
deal,
sitting here.
what you said, we'll make that here in a minute. Take roll call, Brooks. Let's finalize that.
John Hoyt,
Made a motion.
so you're a yes?
Huh?
You're a yes?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
I'm a no.
Okay.
Motion passes 2-1.
Really? It's going on the committee.
Just thought I'd try.
Well, come up, alright, we're gonna have to do something.
We gotta
can't
move
do a
on.
dang thing, so what do you wanna do, dude?
Do what?
What do you wanna do?
If you're gonna include the ones that's gone, include them in the money that we've allocated for.
What we are,
Premium pay.
we're gonna look at separate money before Thursday night. And it's just so
What do
we
you
can
take
go
away
over
from?
and her get the numbers.
What do you wanna take away from?
Well, I don't know, we don't know exactly where we're at on broadband, lost revenue, we got 2 or 3 places that, depending on the amount. You know, that's what I like to do, is proceed with this, so we can come up with the amount before we meet Thursday night. I mean, you can
What
vote.
kind of money are you talking?
I don't know, that's what I'm saying, let's talk about it.
Are you talking? Or you want to give them $4,500 like you want to give the full-time workers?
No, if I had it, I wouldn't have made this motion.
No, if it's there.
No, I mean, somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
Is it gonna be above or below the lowest you paid on this list?
What was the lowest we paid?
Lowest you paid is $1,000.
Alright, if we do 1,000, and that's what, between now and Thursday, we can figure out how many people exactly it is. Is Roy Jean still here?
He had emergency, I believe.
Do you got any idea what the turnover's been at the road department? I know the sheriff's office will be the biggest.
And they're working on it, they should have it.
It's moderate. They've had several turnovers themselves.
Come and go. The only reason y'all's be more is like the sheriff's office, cause you employ more per department. You know, y'all are second, just the sheriff's office for the number of employees.
Yeah, it was down there, went through 3 or 4. Kenny had somebody to leave. I think we had somebody to leave.
I think he's had 2 or 3 leave. We've had somebody leave. Gina's had somebody leave. Candy's had somebody leave. And
Everybody really.
if they get, you know, the same thing, the people that's left that's not here, what is it gonna keep us here? If I quit today and still get my bonus?
2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there, plus sheriff's office and other department, it'll be all over it.
I don't think I get it back.
Do it.
When you get the non-certified schools, who are more exposed than any of these other people you're talking about, 1,000, and get these that left 1,000, these are still here, what's wrong?
Hell, I agree with everything everybody said.
I don't disagree.
How long does the non-certified in the school?
Do what?
What all is the non-certified at the school? Who's that?
Your janitors, your aides, your secretaries, your
Cafeteria workers.
cafeteria workers, people like that make minimum wage.
Yeah.
Which the law said, take care of the lowest paid first. But they're getting the lowest out of the lowest.
Well, did the school get their own ARP money?
No, they got nothing.
They did get ESSER.
They got money.
ESSER went to loss of learning only, did
Yeah,
not.
they couldn't use, that's what I
use
said.
premium pay in it.
It was crazy.
But was there not an avenue they could took to use
No.
that for premium pay?
No, we already
They
checked.
modified pay scale for a while. If they checked with the state, I'm sure they probably did.
There was 196 of them, wasn't there? Is that right? Of the non-certified?
145.
145.
It's about, yeah, what'd you say, 145, would've been figuring 150.
No, it's 145, 150.
We were counting in the courthouse, so there was, one in our office, and then one in the trustee's office, 3 in the assessor's office,
Got hand out now.
3 in the registered deeds office,
Oh, and,
yep,
yeah, I forgot about her.
3 there, and then 1 in your all's office. Alright, anything any more? 6, 7, 8, 9. Theirs wouldn't count because she hadn't been here long enough. No, that is right. She had Jackie.
Yeah.
And,
School certified, non-certified, on the left.
hey Cassie, how many
Right.
of y'all had to leave, 2 or 3?
Right column.
3.
So certified in
Yeah, Nathan.
Yep.
So he's in, no, he's not in.
Yeah.
Long one wouldn't have to be librarians. That'd be part-time, but.
Thousand certified, thousand teachers, no, that's what they.
There's 1,000 for the certified teachers, 1,000 for the non-certified workers, which I don't think is right.
What do you think, Ron?
Hmm?
What do you think, Ron?
How much they're getting?
The book club.
So,
But they go there all the time, and they give them this money.
19 plus 13 is what I got.
Basically, they were the ones keeping the place down.
Oh, yeah, I moved them down, hold on, yeah, I put seats on. 19, 16, 17.
If they got a bonus from the city, let's get this deducted from what they give from the county. Yeah.
13, what do you want to give? Yep, 51's left. So y'all had, best we can tell just real quick, there'd been 51 full-time that's left.
And that should
And
be
you know,
on
I'd
top
like
of
to
it.
kind of throw this in too, just so everybody knows that everything is not fair. My brother-in-law carried garbage the entire time that this went on. And he's hired through the state, through the elderly people program. And him and the other 1 or 2 that's in that program did not get 1 dime. And they worked the entire time, hauling COVID garbage.
And
But
that
you work for the
changed,
state?
that changed January sixth on the final rule. They took that restriction on state employees off. But they didn't do it till January sixth, and that's after.
Yeah, now the money's gone, and they didn't get a dime of it.
That does
So,
not include-
the world's not always fair.
That's not in your
No,
report.
yeah,
And,
how many people,
you know.
what's their risk?
So, and that's what-
Garbage.
You could wear gloves.
Yeah, you can, but when that stuff comes slanging back in your face
And you could.
5 days a week,
Yeah.
but who can't? Wear gloves and mitts and the whole 9 yards. We can all suit up like
It's completely different
astronauts.
than being around people.
Maybe sometimes you ain't got time, the accidents.
That's true, but you know, I mean, if everybody wants to get right down to it, our cops and our ambulances, the people that's at it, they're the ones, they need
What about
the
our
money.
corrections?
I know.
Huh?
What about corrections?
Well, I said cop, the
Yeah.
whole,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, they, what, you know, anyway. But still, everybody has that risk. Road department, they're out there. They can't pick and choose, you know, who they come up to when they're out there on the crews working. You know, I mean, it's just, it's not good. I mean, it's just not good. I mean, we need more money to give to everybody. Everybody deserves a piece of this cake. But that just, the reason I brought that up was they done the same thing that the other city workers done, which I don't begrudge their money. Don't get me wrong. But they got their money. But these other 3 older men got nothing.
Yeah, can I ask a little something? You know, you're talking about leaving.
Yeah.
I've never left the county. I volunteered for 29 years and I still do with emergency management in the fire department.
Right.
Just because I had to quit because of COVID, my role changed in the fire department during the weather.
Yeah.
And I know y'all know that because you're cop.
Yeah.
And something's going on. So I've never really left the county. I'm just still a volunteer. So.
And it's, I mean, you know, and that's a completely different scenario than when somebody leaves, and I'm glad when people can better themselves. But when you leave a $9 hour job and you found you a $15 or $18 hour job, I don't blame you. But all in the same breath, you've left.
I did find a good job by the grace of God, but it took 6 months.
Right,
And I
right.
wasn't able to continue working as a corrections officer because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
We
right.
were living
I'm
off
not
of my
gonna bring somebody
disability.
under
Yeah.
control if I can't fight.
Right.
We were living off of my disability.
Yeah,
So that money,
yeah,
you know, would mean a lot to us considering what we're having to live under.
right. Yeah.
When'd you come up with that? When'd you come up with that?
Well, and that was what Judy was saying, that we see that, and I kind of agree with that, as if you had to leave it like a retirement, you had, like you were retiring due to health issues. Not because you were better yourself. Big
They're
difference,
gonna be mad.
Yeah, there is.
big difference.
They look like it anyway. Yeah.
What do you do?
Tier 1, 225 a month,
Do what?
and tier 2 is what?
We're coming up with tier 2, 175.
175 a month.
Have you got home on them trees?
Level 1 part-time was 100, level 2 part-time was 75.
Kevin, he sat behind Jeff Baker.
Level, part-time or what? Part-time level 1 was 100, part-time level 2 was 75 on what was used on the 20 and dividing it out further.
Tier 1, part-time is what?
100.
Why?
I have no idea, that's where the math works.
why can't we do it by how many days a week they work? If they work 3 days a week to get 3/5 of the 225, if they work 4 days a week to get 4/5 of the 225.
Do that.
Alright, look, we're gonna move, so, not move on, we're gonna move around here. Our next question, I think we're in agreement that we don't wanna take none of their money for past employees, but we are interested in looking at past employees' money. Let's look at the other money we got and see how much of it we use without touching current employees' money. Alright, we got loss of revenues, how much we put in? Let's see how much money we do got in other areas we can use it from.
Loss of revenue, we had 908.
We don't wanna touch it till last.
We got, infrastructure.
We have, broadband at 736. Support public health, 530. And negative impact, 130.
What's defined negative impact? It's how much? Negative. What's the difference in loss of revenue and negative impact?
Negative impact is the one for like businesses.
Cafeterias, restaurants, clothing stores.
It's 896 in loss, premium pay.
896 is what we had drinking.
So there's 19,000 right there.
In which one?
Premium pay.
Cause she got this figured at 880 for the tiers.
Now, before we figure that total,
And this is figured at total, everybody across the board. And this will be reduced because of months. Okay, so there'll be some savings there.
but on every concern addressed before we vote, and we'll get this too, we've got some people that disagree with what level they're at. And I think they deserve to plead their case to us too. Not this very second, but before we come to that total. Now, that'll make a little bit of difference. Whether they're level 1 or level 2.
You're still in a different, we still got two
You still have two levels.
You still have 2 levels, so. Yet some people's classified level 2, want to plead their case, they should be level 1. Under their circumstances. And we'll get to that too. I'm just saying, before we figure that total on premium pay, that, just like the months we're doing.
What have you got premium pay set at?
We need to do that now.
What you figured it up.
Oh, there's so much we need to do at one time.
That's what we said that the.
Who's wanting to change theirs?
The Jim Williams office. Health Department.
Are you gonna go by? You might as well let raise everybody level 1.
I know what we are, but I think their argument was that they could honestly say they worked every hour required of them.
It's not hours worked.
What it is,
It
if it
is
goes
exposure rate.
in, but if it goes into 101, it kind of broadens it.
But why don't you broaden it for everybody?
Well, we could.
I've got a question. How many of y'all gonna get mad if we just set one level?
I would if I was them, but whatever.
No, I'm serious. Now's the time to.
How many
y'all gonna get
employees
mad if we set all in one level?
What's the premium pay to figure that?
Caps
It's
at
been like
4,500.
all the meetings, I make videos.
Level 1 caps at 4,500 right now.
What is this?
Anybody have any opinion on
So
this?
what would that be for everybody? I guess
what's
would be
the
the
rate?
question.
Not
And is
the
that
cap, but the
including
rate.
like all past employees, current employees?
No, we're dealing with current employees right
Current,
now.
okay.
To get to see how much money we may have for past employees.
How many
This is
employees?
just a step to get there. for
How many
past
employees
So
are
is
in
it
that
taken
figure?
away from level
Huh?
one and
How many
level
employees
two?
are in that figure?
In that tier?
In that, just straight across, just one payment?
And you still have, you have a level one
And the-
full-time, a level one part-time is what you'd end up with.
I mean, what level
So what
of
we
risk
got
are we
amount, how much
talking
are we
about here? I mean,
I don't know.
everyone
And
was
I'm
here
not-
working,
What do I hear?
they all had an amount of risk that they were dealing with.
I didn't wanna make the
You
motion.
know, if you wanted to put it on a risk level,
But we're saying who worked every hour required of them
well, I mean, they've all, I mean,
It's supposed to be on risk.
in the whole county.
Well, there are certain jobs that had to be done, like literally you couldn't, virtual, you couldn't call out, you couldn't do anything like
Right,
that.
and that's why some of the
Because-
people in level two has a good argument to be moved up to level one.
but yet again, you don't wanna take away from, when you start moving people around, you don't wanna take away the fact that anybody risks, you know, just as much of being a part, you know, during the time. Was it any higher risk for the ones versus the twos, or, you know, I mean, we're gonna start.
Well, that
trying
was
to
the, that's the
gauge it,
original,
you know.
that was the original.
I agree
reason
that
we did
everybody
that.
had their part, but is it any more of a risk? Some probably did, I don't know.
Yeah, the level originally was front line. So you had front line and then you had the number of hours that you were actually talking to citizens without a glass shield. That's how it all started. That's how we ended up at level one and level two.
Is that what, you know, you get to check on it, or is this just a baseline? I mean, are y'all just checking boxes, or is it a decision that you're having to make?
That's what we're having to make based off the training. I mean, you've seen the
So
training.
which one of those was more exposed than the janitor?
Not with what you're
Tell me
dealing with,
one
what
of
you're
them.
talking about here.
Not one.
I'm not saying, no, I didn't say I hadn't seen
That's not,
one.
it's got nothing to
You've
do.
seen, you've seen
Our
you've
list.
seen the premium pay training.
Yes,
It dealt with how you had to pick who was eligible for premium pay and all that.
but they never specified, you know, it was left up to your decision.
No, if we went strictly by what it said, anybody.
They were more
So you're
exposed
checking
probably
boxes.
than most health.
Huh?
So you're just checking boxes.
Pretty much.
Is that the way you want it? Or is that what you think is
The
fair to
reason,
the ones that
the
did
reason
work
I
during that
asked,
time?
the reason I asked the question on what y'all thought about putting it all at one level, so y'all would tell us what you thought about putting it all at one.
Well, I'm not upset at you at all.
No, I mean, that's the reason I asked the question. Before I made the motion. 'Cause
I'm
if
just
there's gonna
trying
resist us, I
to,
wasn't gonna make the motion.
I'm just trying to help the ones that, you know, that worked during that time.
I agree.
On a year, no,
You know.
over 2,000. Yeah. Nobody wants that. Oh, yeah. Especially the correctional officers.
If you go to
who work
one level,
overtime,
what,
get
like,
3,000 hours a
what
year
is the
or something.
amount? Is it gonna be level one, is it gonna be level two?
What I was thinking is move everybody to level one.
So that'd be 4,500 across.
It'd be 4,500 cap with the time served, just like what we're talking about now.
For a hundred.
But here's what the argument is, for the ones that are out there, face to face with everybody, slapping cuffs on them, throw them in the car, compared to some that were behind glass enclosures, who had the most threat? If we put everybody at the same level, then we're paying everybody at the same level. If that's gonna cause an issue, then we don't need to do that.
No matter which way we go, it's gonna cause an issue.
I know that. I'm trying to figure out the path of least resistance. But I think they taught me that. It wasn't in computer class, I'm sorry, but they did teach me at one of the classes. And I mean, we're sitting here spinning our tires.
Well, you've already kind of excluded a bunch of people that did leave corrections that I know of that have turned around and worked the majority of COVID. You already excluded them.
We're
They
not
were face to
excluded,
face all
we
the
sat here and
time.
talked about that for an hour.
No,
I mean,
no, that's kind of how we ended up.
That's why we're having this conversation right now, we're trying not to exclude. I mean,
Yeah, but if
where
you
did
let,
get-
if you leave everybody, if you move everybody up to one level, you just took away the possibility, a little bit more of the possibility of having extra money left over to work for, to work with those people. Cause your total number of employees now, instead of having half at 4,500, half at 3,500, now you just put them all up to 4,500. That just decreased the amount of money you have to work with.
Did we vote on that?
We didn't vote on nothing.
No, I'm just saying, if you did that, that's what would happen.
But, I mean, how do you get, they've been excluded?
Because if you're looking at people that work in corrections, obviously they're face to face with people.
I know, but you just made a statement, we've
Yeah.
not excluded.
What is a
Because
bracket?
you're already looking at offering them less money, even though they could work 19 out of the 19 months of COVID. They just don't currently work for the county.
What is a bracket you're supposed to talk about for ones that don't work for the county anymore?
We ain't even got the track on that.
That's what we're trying to do, is get to the amount we got.
That's what she's in question about, is where are they gonna stand? What kind of amount are they talking about?
That's what we're trying to get to.
We don't know what's left.
Well, we've got to,
I mean, they know they worked through the whole pandemic too. I think they ought to get what they deserve, just like everybody else that's worked through it. If they're here, they're not now.
Well, there's 51 of them. I don't know what percentage, I couldn't even start to guess what percentage that 51 worked the whole 20 months. It's gonna vary per employee. There'll be some that worked 1 month, there'll be some that worked the whole 20 months.
This is the time frame. All these black months are people that didn't work, that they're on the list for working, so. But this person didn't start, so they only got part.
looks like a reference.
Well, if we take these people that work, and we leave them, everyone, if they were on the level 1 category, but we only pay them for what time they were here.
See, some of them out of 51, some of them will be level 1, some will be level 2. Some of them work 1 month, some work 6 months,
Some be part-time,
some work the whole 20 months, some of them will be part-time.
10 part-time.
But if we leave them on this scale, that only pay them for what time they work,
Yeah, I mean, that's doable, but it's just gonna be a process figuring that out
Yeah.
before Thursday.
Nobody says you gotta figure that part out first.
We got any more committee meetings Thursday before the meeting?
Just this apparently. What do we have to
The
do?
one, so far, what we've agreed on is $4,500 for level 1, for sure.
Everybody's level 1, we don't have that much money in there.
Not in, we do if we move it around.
No, we've got 4,500 for level 1 on our active employees, according to what she had.
No.
I'm just saying what we got accomplished so
No.
far.
we ain't got nothing on it.
Level 1, $4,500. Now, what we still gotta do is classify everybody. If anybody wants to make a case, they should be level 1. And then, we still gotta figure out the total number of months on the past employees. And how many is part-time, how many full-time, how many level 1, how many level 2.
So which part we starting with, Brooks?
That's up to y'all.
Level 1 right now is for sheriff's office. Corrections, dispatcher, jail administrator, health department, sanitation. I wanna say sheriff's office, health department, it's sanitation. It's all the sheriff's office.
Set that up.
And then okay, so who else?
And then level two is all clerical.
They say they didn't give me the code money.
Including road work, that's what y'all have to.
What classifies level one?
Right now, sheriff's office.
No, I didn't say.
No,
who,
he's
I
wanting the
said what.
definition.
Oh,
What double state of emergency or what? Or has it got anything to do with that?
it's pretty much, amount of time face to face with public.
Okay.
Right now, the SO, health department and sanitation are 3 listed.
Do you think that the road department had anything to do with face-to-face?
I'm sure they did.
But we don't qualify with that group? Or the employees of the road department?
That's what Bruce is saying, make your case. It goes the amount of time for the face to face.
Here's how I would define it, since we can put it into 101. Did you work, and it's asking all department heads, did your employees work every day required of them, same as they did before the pandemic hit? That is that's not in writing. That is my version of it. That's my opinion. Which could be valid because we put it in 101 and do with what we want to.
Yep, you put it in 101, you can.
What about overtime as well? Does that count? I mean, they would work beyond their normal hours.
But at a minimum, did everybody work the regular?
He just looks for a qualifier.
Yeah. Would you agree? Yes.
Which ones didn't do that though?
That's what we're figuring out.
Everybody did that.
Full-time employee, you're full-time employee.
You don't go by exposure rate, but include everybody.
That's what I asked about a while ago.
If you don't wanna go by exposure rate.
So you're saying we're not exposed?
No, I didn't say everybody was exposed.
Well, okay. So we agree on that.
Yeah, that's not an issue, that's
It's the
absolutely.
exposure level.
It's the level.
Was what's kinda been.
You got your
Yeah.
SRO officer who was exposed to 450 people a day. How many people a day were yours?
You take your corrections officer too,
Corrections officers too, I'm just picking out the
Yeah.
one I know in school.
but,
How many?
as far as the regular officers, so, you know, they deal with, how many they deal with through the day. I used to do that some, I worked for 2 years law enforcement.
Right.
And, we have to talk to people every day about shutting roads down, we have to go knock on doors, we have to, we have to talk to people every day during, when we're in the road department.
I know, but if we're gonna go by exposure rate, how many were you compared to how many were this one, and where do we draw the line? If we don't wanna draw the line anywhere, then everybody's level 1.
I think that would be much easier, because it's gonna be a hard line to draw.
That's what I asked a while ago when everybody started talking.
Well, actually, they wouldn't be here when you asked that.
Well, I'm sorry. I asked a while ago when everybody started talking.
I mean, who's really qualified to say who took on more risk? I mean, we all have our opinions. But
I say prior to the pandemic, if you had to wear personal protective equipment to deal with somebody as part of your job, prior to the pandemic, then when the pandemic hit, you were more than exposed. So, your road department, you have to carry around rubber gloves to do your job every day
We had to wear face masks.
before the pandemic.
Using certain material, we use leather gloves, but not really rubber.
Right materials, but not for the people.
No.
Okay. First responder, since I got into it in 92, you've been trained to use gloves and masks to protect yourself. Pandemic just made it that much worse. So I think looking at the job that they do, it's probably where we need to look to figure out what the line is gonna be.
Level one, everything.
It's the easiest way to get over with.
Make a motion to move everybody 45 level one, capped at 4,500, but also a level one part-time, because I'm not about to get to that, are you? So there's your motion.
That's for all full-time employees.
That's for all full-time employees. Now, I'm not getting into schools on that, because I
Well,
have
they're full-time employees, huh?
I have no way of getting into those numbers. Yeah, sure, it's a monthly breakdown, you have to build the month, and anything over, if you didn't build the next month, then it's gone.
Okay.
So if you complete the month, you get paid for the month.
Okay. Do you have a second?
I say, just in the interest of getting this moved on through. Y'all know it? Yes?
What was the question?
You a yes?
Yeah, sure.
I'm a yes. You?
Since you do not want to include the lowest paid people in the county that had high exposure, let's say no.
How many teachers are on the list?
I'm not talking about teachers, I'm talking about your non-certified person who are getting in the way.
So you're all right with doing non-certified, not teachers?
145 non-certified.
Wait a minute, let me answer the
That's
question.
right.
You're okay with doing non-certified, but not certified, right?
On level one, yes.
On 45, so what do you want to leave the, okay. All right, so what's the number?
145 people.
145 people at 4,500.
That's gonna complete the whole.
It sure is.
But did they work the whole time during summer?
Did everybody work the whole time? There was
Yeah.
offices closed.
Absolutely.
No one. And they worked they worked during the summer and they worked.
We worked the whole
I know my campus, there's bookkeepers and secretaries from like spring break all the way through summer.
I have no problem with taking those days out at all. Break it down that way. They're on 10-month. Then just do 10-month part. But I think the lowest paid people in the county, that's what it was established for in the first place. It said, take care of your lowest paid people first.
There's also where it's simple to do it by the hour.
I'd like to do it by the hour.
I mean, that's what I've read, you know, what
It just says-
research I've done with companies.
I'd like to see it done by the hour, but there's so many hour discrepancies in there that,
I think that's to avoid, it's more work on that end, but it avoids all this back and forth. Cause you know who's there, who's serving, who's doing the job by the hour, that's what they're entitled to. And they were talking about adding money to premium pay to what hours they work.
How many did you say that was there?
Non-certified.
No, what's the price?
Just on
That price?
Yeah.
$652,500.
We got that changed though.
No,
We got something.
School year, yeah.
if you're gonna move money, you have to move broadband or.
you can just do 10 months on them since they're 10-month employees. Actually, there's like 8 to 10 months.
So you wanna do 10 months? So that's $2,250. I've taken them back to $225 a month.
Yeah, 225 months at
At
45.
10 months, that's $2,250.
Your regular workers got 12 months. They're 12 months. She's 12-month employed, right? Your aides and stuff like that, schools are just 10 months.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
You break.
if y'all get someone like it, why would I just quit too?
2,250, right? That's 2250 per employee.
That's only 1 year. It's 10 months. Yeah, it's 10 months.
That's a good.
A lot of money.
But you gotta add in the second year. There's a total of 20 months. They did 18 out of the 20. No, 16 out of the 20. 16 out of the 20.
$3,600, yeah.
36.
Okay, 36 times our total. $145, that's $522,000.
122, so we're getting better all the time.
Oh, that'll be something terrible to fix, but when we're gonna have to, it's like, it needs to be done before Thursday. Cause it's gonna be each individual person. That's what it says.
We can do, Greg, we can do current employees this Thursday.
Yeah.
And then the next meeting, we'll figure out how much we got left. We'll do the other.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Or not do them at all.
And that's about what
No,
we
something
might
get
have,
done
and we
this
don't do it all at the
Thursday.
same time.
No, I'm talking about, he said it wouldn't be fair if we waited another month
I
for the
said,
other.
how is it? I was expecting that to be done.
What usually happens on something like that, things get forgotten, and it just never.
Well, if it's on the agenda, it won't be forgotten. Would it?
Very possible. Keep saying much, everybody has rules.
Well, I know that. Let's get not a vote, just a consensus.
I like that.
Are you taking current employees' money to give past employees?
No, I'm for giving them the money that we can come up with out of this art money.
Okay.
I'm for paying the people that
Same
work,
here.
I'm for the people that work the hours.
Right, same here.
Okay.
Now, that being said, I think, as long as it got put on the agenda, and there's 2 or 3 here tonight, Cody, speaking past employees, if it for sure got voted on at the February meeting, would y'all be good, let us do the current employees' January meeting?
I'm current employee now too.
I mean, I'm sitting there in front of Polk County News and the camera and everybody saying it will be on the February agenda. And this way, see, there's still a huge unknown about current employees. She's still gotta break down those months that people work. And that'd give us a solid number after Thursday's meeting, how much we got left to work with.
So y'all want us
I mean, I think that, my opinion, that's the fairest way.
My motion for it.
And
As
I'll,
long as somebody don't get paid for time that they wasn't here, that's my thing. As long as that's been took away for the month that they take the late.
That's, on this bill, that's, yeah.
So, y'all want us to have you the numbers on Thursday, current payroll employees that work through the pandemic, that are current, that bill their time for the amount of $4,500. And if we can have that to you on Thursday, the commission will take that up in the form of a vote,
and I'll go one step farther than that.
so we can get this going.
I can call a meeting, we'll have a regular voting commission meeting on Thursday, February the 22nd, or January 27th, just 1 week after this Thursday, just to address past employees. That way you don't have to wait a month, just 7 days.
So you're gonna,
So we will have,
so you're gonna exit the meeting without adjourning?
no, we'll adjourn the meeting, but we're gonna have a special call meeting. We'll have a special call meeting on the 27th.
But if you recess for a week.
You recess for a week.
Well, yeah,
Pay that extra money.
that's true. We'll recess it, that way we won't get paid twice. If we adjourn the meeting, have another one, we all get our $100 for the next week, so we'll just adjourn the meeting. The current employees will be voted on Thursday, and we'll adjourn the meeting
That
until
gets
Thursday.
extra week.
Current employees at level 1 and level 2. What numbers am I thinking? Is that it?
Yeah, my motion is passed.
No, there's no motion been made or passed right now, we need to work on
I
it.
think the motion just kinda stalled.
So,
It does, but,
Oh, he got two and it needed three.
but we don't have to,
Wasn't that two more commissioners here?
just on the committee, or just 3 committees.
I'm not on the committee.
I tell you what, I'm gonna make that same motion again though.
We can do it without the committee's recommendation though at the meeting, if we, right?
Yep, yeah, you can do it without me recommendation.
I mean, it's better if we have the committee's recommendation, but we don't have to. So, and I've got the employee bonuses on the agenda for Thursday, so it's kinda broad anyway. And then we'll meet again we'll adjourn Thursday, take the meeting back up on the 27th to address past employees. And after Thursday night, poor old trees coming in Friday morning, and we'll know exactly where we stand on the money. So do we agree for all them current employees, level 1? Actually, it don't matter, just had to be made in form of a motion Thursday night, and never have the whole commission votes on it.
Well, now, you gotta be
We're
careful
to
how you
stand
say it,
still on the
because
committee.
you get back into certified and non-certified teachers when you say all current employees. And the money's not there for 45 for both certified and non-certified.
As far as a 101 employee, but
135, 116, 1.
does anybody object to them being level 1?
I make a motion to that effect.
That you object to it?
No. God dang it, Brooks.
Well, you gotta be more clear.
All right, I make a motion that 101, 116, 131, what's drug officers? What? One what? 122? No, well, they are, but they're, yeah. Let's see, if I missed any. Sanitation 116, road department is 1, what have you got them all? Be at level 1.
I'll second that. You a yes?
Huh? Yeah.
I'm a yes.
Since you're not including the lowest paid people in the county, I vote no.
It's 500 something thousand, I ain't got a chance to pull in the numbers to see if we need to do that, you? 522,000.
But if I vote yes, then you not even gonna look at it.
It's gotta start somewhere. Okay.
Well, this don't prevent us from starting. We're just doing it without a committee recommendation.
but what it does is it puts my office back to come back and do some more.
Depending on how the
Like
vote
we've been
goes.
doing for the last couple of months.
Well, what's your motion, Jim?
Include the non-certified people in the schools,
Okay.
not in the central office,
Okay.
in the schools.
In the
That'll
schools.
knock it down from the 145, because the central office gets paid more than minimum wage.
So nobody in central office and pulling the money to the pay account from where?
To the what?
Where you gonna get the money?
How do you ARP money?
Which
I
line?
understand that, what category are you pulling it from?
Premium pay?
There's not enough in premium pay to do that. Where
Not
are you
because
pulling?
you're giving everybody so much.
So you're gonna cut their pay to give?
Premium pay was designated here a while back, that's what we're going by, right?
Well, we can get it out of other lines.
Right. So we need to go back.
And if you figure it up, and
We're asking our board here.
Just for curiosity, I'm just asking here, what is the lowest paid individual you're talking about? Just
your janitors in the school,
the janitor?
yes, your cafeteria workers, yes.
They are low. They are.
And they're the ones in direct exposure every day with hundreds of kids, cleaning up their snot or puke and everything else.
Yep. Good.
The only difference is they are capable of wearing whatever kind of clothes they want to wear, whatever protects that they want to use. Versus a cop, no, they don't. When they confront that person, they ain't got time to get in their suit of armor to do what they gotta do.
I don't think they can afford to sue the Army with the pay they get.
No, but they ain't got time to do it.
Not far off from us,
You know, that's the only thing. I mean, I'm just saying, they're top, they're just out there. And, you know, but I mean, and I'm not taking that away from them. I understand that, but they are capable of wearing, protective clothing.
Is that provided to them?
No.
So then they should get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should get it, and there should be money there for that. I don't know of anything that
The only thing they
protects
get is the
clothing.
regular old paper mask that everybody else gets.
Well, they should be able, they
And that's
should
it.
provide them,
Gloves,
whatever they ask for.
rubber gloves, and
Right.
sanitizer. That's it.
Who on the committee? I mean, we've got to get somewhere, and I apologize for his service, I do apologize, but we've got to get somewhere. When I say service, I'm not talking about nobody, I've probably done crazy stuff doing all this, that people don't understand, everybody is, we're human. Who on the committee is in favor of taking some of the current employees' money for other employees that's not in the county system?
Specify, not, you talking about the school, or you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm for the schools non-certified getting money, but I'm for finding it somewhere else, not taking it from the current employees. Are you in favor of taking it? Are you in favor of taking it? It's just so we can.
No, I agree with you on that, Brooks, we can't.
I mean, I think the low-paid non-certified should get money from other areas, other art money, but not their money that we've had set aside.
The money wasn't given to them. It's given to the county.
Right.
The entire county.
Right.
All 17,556
Right.
people.
But as a rule, we've been working, kicking around for the current employees, 900,000 from day one,
Here's part of the problem.
or 8, 9, whatever it was.
I don't know, is any counties gave to the school system out of the art money? Now, we are one of the few that come up, and Mr. B, you spoke up, not about the certified to begin with, but you spoke up about the non-certified.
Right.
And I agree.
I think the certified should get something too.
I agree, that if we can, we should,
Paid a lot more
but there's no
than
other
we
counties that have gave to the schools, and we have offered 1,000 at the get-go, at least set an amount to give to them out of this art money. We're doing what we can, we've gotta take care of our own first.
Well, they're not your
Inside our
own.
system, we're not the school board.
They're not your own.
Do what?
They're not your own.
They are, but they're under the school board. We don't set their budget. We set their budget,
And they probably get raises when we know, maybe not.
and they are,
but
and
teachers,
until,
I'm sure do.
until the 6th, they were not considered, or at least the certified weren't considered eligible to get the money because they were considered quote unquote state employees under BEP funding.
They had different art money.
Well, not exactly, it's, never mind.
I
We've
disagree
done-
with
we're
you on
doing
that
it.
because the original handout from the government said education didn't count.
Did count?
Yes. It's on the original
The
list.
original training I seen, the very first one I seen, they were very clear that this was not school money, that the school had resources, that this was, and they laid out.
Not to give out the protective equipment and everything else. Nothing about the premium pay.
He's right.
Well, the ones I've talked to,
Yes.
the non-certified I've talked to in the school system,
I've heard
said
it
they
read,
haven't
they've
planned
read
on
it too,
getting
but they don't wanna go
anything,
back.
and they'd be more than happy with $1,000. Now, I don't claim to talk to all of them, but the ones I have spoken with, thought all along they were getting nothing, and they're appreciative of $1,000.
There ain't nothing I can say that ain't gonna make it sound like I'm bashing non-certified or the certified. The truth is, we've got this money we're gonna have to deal with, and if we don't come to a decision,
Well, now, certified is teachers, right?
certified as teachers.
Okay, then if you was to go into that, then you go into all elected officials also.
No,
Why? What's the difference?
they're not included too.
Well, we don't set the teacher's salary. We don't set their pay, we gotta pay them, but we don't get to
That's the
set
school,
it.
the school board.
And well, and part
I know.
of the GDP.
So, I mean-
But now we do give a portion of their salary,
I just don't see where it ever
I got a
ends.
question, John.
Plus, they're not working for pennies
It's a legal
like our
question.
employees are.
I agree with you on that, Dave.
You know, I made when we was doing the Christmas bonus, I asked a question, I said, surely, you know, when we was trying to include the road department, I said, surely there's some way we can give them this money, not as a bonus, but maybe as a gift for buy extra gravel, and they run it through their budget to a bonus. Was it possible and legal for the school system done the same thing with their money and gave it in the form of a bonus?
There was a thought that you could offset your budget with some of the whatever, you know, and then free up some money and then use it in different categories. That was a thought at the beginning. I don't know how it played out.
For example, if the school board has a line in their budget for bus fuel at $500,000, they could use extra money to fund that line for bus fuel, and they could took the bus fuel money and gave bonuses with it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
they had options.
no.
Why do you say no?
The fuel they used had to be for the summer program where they did the loss of learning catch-up.
I
Couldn't
just
be
using-
stuck into it.
I was using the fuel line for an example. I mean, it could be salaries, maintenance.
No, there was specific, very specific things.
Well, there was, but if you shifted the money around legally,
So
it was possible.
They'd have done that if they could, stick it in their general budget, if they could.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Full-time employees.
Sounds great.
101, 131, 116.
I'm not arguing. Tell him that.
Well, I mean, that's one of the motions that's been brought up, so. That's just like all the other things we've done.
If you put this in the general fund,
We do
you give them
anything.
bonus money, then you gotta keep on doing it.
Now, wait, if we put the general fund, how's that come out on, CRS? On what? That's a,
They'll keep it as premium pay.
If we give it, one of our ones, like a bonus, the CRS has to come out on everybody.
Which is 7%. 5%.
The county matches it, so it's more money.
If we give it under premium pay, is it optional?
Yes.
But, you know, it's, I mean, it's optional to do it or not do it, but it's all or nothing. You can't do it for.
One or two and not do it for the rest. It's still 5%.
Well, the part about the matching it, that's what Polk County signed up to do in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
So that shouldn't be an issue about the county having to match it.
Well, it's done matched it once on the regular pay. Now we're talking about an additional.
That's right, that's
Pay
what
on
y'all
top.
had, what Polk County signed up to do in 1998, was to match it with TCRS when they signed on to that program.
Right, with what the employee paid.
Right.
Right.
And that's earnings, this is earnings.
Right, but now, I mean, your part will come out of that too. Your 5%.
You can have my part of it,
Well, it don't go to us, it goes to TCRS.
I know that. You can take my 5% out. I don't care what you call it, it's still earnings. You can call it a bonus, or you can call it premium pay, or whatever, it's still earnings.
Amen.
there's no avenue to make that optional. But they,
You either do all
That's
of
my top
it,
two down, it's all or nothing.
So you can tell somebody.
was it Control or TCRS?
TCRS.
Good, Control, I don't think you can go on that.
We might bring 5% up from. Well, we're gonna bring 5% up from some part because there's not enough in the line on that.
Put it on and, you just bring it up enough to cut that.
Yeah, bring up fund balance.
Well, he's got a point about earnings. I mean, if you're taxed on it, at the end of the year, it's earnings. We all agree on that?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be taxed.
Well, yeah, we knew that, I mean, anytime you give anybody anything, tax gonna come out on it.
So, I mean, it is earning.
Yeah.
Now, this goes back to the same question. A few years ago, we done a Christmas bonus. And there was a question that was brought up, because some did not want TCRS out of it. So we found a kind of a one-time loop, till we done it twice in a row, that we did. And there's a lot of employees liked it that way, some didn't. In other words, the TCRS didn't come out of the Christmas bonus. And TCRS broke that off. They said that's fine until we done it twice in a row. So, you know, it's, you know.
So Christmas
Some
bonus
want
to
it.
go in TCRS now.
If it's recurring 2 years,
They do.
in a row.
A bonus is considered earnable compensation, it has to go.
They gave us an exemption at one time because we did
But
it
this
one
is
time.
premium pay, so, but it's still gonna be taxable even without the federal government give us the authority.
It's gonna be taxed, yes.
The FICA's coming out no matter what.
Right.
It ain't an option.
Okay.
Was he? I'm sure we done it, I wasn't on there in '98. Unfortunately, I almost was, just missed it by a year, but, was there a resolution
On which one?
on TCRS agreement?
Oh, yeah.
Reckon it's on file somewhere?
Yeah, it should probably be a copy in Teresa's office. There's definitely a copy in, Jared's.
I just, I think it would be optional, I mean, I know there's gonna be people who want.
No, TCRS.
TCRS won't let it be optional.
The people that were here when that was voted in had an option to take TCRS or not.
We only have-
Okay, then anybody that was hired after that date that it was adopted had to take it. It wasn't an option on them.
We only have one
And then-
full-time employee right now, though, that does not have it. but there
We
was-
still have one? Really? Oh, yeah, I bet we do. What about him? Even if they leave employment and come back, they have to take it.
For your last, so.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's where it leads us, we'll have, will this be done by resolution? Will this be done by resolution?
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah.
We may, That's kind of a first, but since the committee can't agree, we may have 2 resolutions to be voted on.
We may have 5 or 6.
Maybe 5 or 6, yeah, but I think Thursday we will have at least 1 resolution concerning money. And then, the meeting will be adjourned till January 27th to address former employees.
Recess.
Recess, I mean, I said adjourn, I meant recess. That way the county won't pay us $100 a piece. So, anything else you want to discuss tonight? That's where we're at now, there will be a resolution.
So what do we
I mean,
do?
I'll have my version, you may have a version. Anybody on the commission can have a version, since the committee can't agree. But it will be voted on Thursday night. Here again, everybody sat through all these, I apologize, but it's, for the first time in my 20 years, I can honestly say, it's tougher than it looks. I promise. I ain't never said that before, but it is. It's something else. Anybody got anything else?
So what do you want Patrice to figure?
It's full-time. That way they don't have much to put on the resolution. You have to get it 5% to come back up to
I'll come by here, I guess. I spent some time at the courthouse a long time, they spent an hour on this.
Bring them lunch back.
I come early, so I went
I gotta do my regular job too.
got all back there.
That's on which part?
122 full-time employees at $4,500. 529,000, 22 part-timers at 2250, that's $59,598,000.
That'll be the resolution, huh?
But you gotta have that. You gotta have the money to come back up for your TCRS. And then like Patrice was saying, you got some part-timers that you like to break down for months. And there might be some full-timers that you put down.
We're talking about the, not hurdles, but time consuming stuff. There'll be, for sure, part-timers and possibly full-timers have to be broke down by months, during that time frame. So, we can still have it ready to go by Thursday, I'm certain, by Thursday evening. But in all honesty, I think we need to help Patrice a little bit, all we can, putting this much on it at the last minute.
I bugged the heck out of them 4 hours today, Brooks.
They did bring cookies.
Yeah, bring cookies.
Does anybody got anything else that I think? I got a motion to adjourn till.
Yes, you do.
Are y'all having a committee meeting before the commission meeting?
Oh, yeah, we will meet at, 12:30, about 6.5 hours before the meeting Thursday. No, about 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock
6
Thursday.
o'clock art committee,
Yeah.
Thursday.
Did we have any more? I think there's another one somewhere.
That's it, I think.
That's it, 6 o'clock Thursday. We'll meet before the meeting.